Good morning, everyone. It's a late start today. It is 8:22. So I've been thinking about gay sex for the last hour or so. I don't know what. No. I have a morning routine, which is usually Twitter arguing or getting banned from some other platform because no one likes the way I prove I'm right. But anyways, that's not here or there. It's here, not there. So, you know, so as I'm going through YouTube and Twitter and ThinkSpot and different platforms and getting the zeitgeist, getting the what's going on in the world, the Chavez, the Chauvin, uh, the the horrible murder of George Floyd. Whatever. He's a pussy. George Floyd was an irresponsible pussy that kept getting caught because his game was weak, because his addiction was high, and now we know. I'm going to get so distracted here. There's a certain look. If you're going to be a criminal, which I have been a good portion of my life, I believe you still look. There's no honor amongst thieves. Crooks are fucking crooks. There's very little honor amongst any of them, and the most ones that have any amount of honor are in prison because they've been snitched on by all the ones that don't have honor. But hey, that's my opinion. I'm pretty sure it's about fact though. So disillusion yourself that there's honor amongst crooks and thieves, and the reason serious gangs are created, criminal gangs, is because so many criminals are such punks that in order to isolate yourself from the fucking two-bit backstabbing little snitches and thieves and stuff like that, you have to organize yourself in a manner to protect yourself from those less ethical criminals. Oh, all right. No. There's a serious sociology concept to this. Choosing to become part of crime is a choice you're accountable for. It's the wrong choice usually. Very rarely can you justify it. Or not rarely. I mean, I think it's very easy to justify a certain level. To me, I can look at people who are down there and go, fuck. Well, if society isn't creating jobs through the free market or regulations, right? By reducing regulations, you're increasing the ability for poor people to get a job. Whether you think that they're not getting paid enough, that's not your fucking whatever. So for whatever reasons, you motherfuckers would rather not have a slave job or whatever you want to call it, the Amazon pee in a cup job. You'd rather them to be poor and impoverished for free. But they're still poor and impoverished, so you're not getting anything done. These things really piss me off. You gotta go to first principle, and these people, they don't even understand. Maybe I don't understand what first principle is. I remember my first principle, Principal Ursink. You know why? He was the first guy that wasn't my stepdad that tried to spank me, and he failed. My stepdad never did fail. He always, boy, he could fucking catch me. Probably because he was 6'1" trucker and I just froze in fear. I don't know, whatever. Shut up. I'm trying to get there. So, YouTube, what the fuck? There's a social. Okay, so check it out. Once you become in the game, they call it the game, and it's no fucking game. But once you're involved in a paradigm, a dichotomy, us versus them. It doesn't matter whether it's the Seahawks versus San Fran, or the police versus the Crips, or the Hoods versus the Crips versus the Bloods, the HA versus the Mongols, blah, blah, blah. Once you're inside that paradigm, you have no other choice except to try to perform as well as you can in that paradigm as you would the greater paradigm of society. They're all the same paradigm. People generally go to gangs because of a very few reasons. It's a multifaceted problem. You know, they don't go there just because of poverty. They don't go there just because they're black. They don't go there just because they want to live a criminal life. But there are some people who become part of gangs because they want to hurt people, because they like engaging in crime. There are, you know, I mean, and that might be of more than a less. Who knows? I'm not trying to go there. All I'm saying is, once you're in that paradigm or dichotomy, it's no longer about a daily choice of, do I break this law or do I follow that law? Once you're in that dichotomy, the old laws go out the window. Like, once you're in a gang of some sorts or another, or guerrilla, it's like guerrilla warfare, right? So once you become part of a team of guerrilla warfare people, normal rules go out the window. So people look at a criminal in a gang or a criminal involved in drug dealing or on the streets, trying to survive, they're part of a different paradigm. And now I'm not trying to apologize for their poor choices and things of that nature. I'm just saying, at a certain point when you've decided to go down the path of the dark side, people on the other side who are not half as morally fucking virtuous as they like to think, like to look at a person engaging in criminal behavior and mark off every sinful criminal behavior as a knock against that person. I don't think it's a valid way of judging people, but this again is my opinion. I think there's probably some who knows? I'm probably just crazy, but anyway. So when somebody's in that dichotomy, they no longer the rules, the laws, Washington State. That's out the window. It's about survival. It's about status. It's about profit. It's a whole different realm. Okay. My phone just dinged. Somebody ding, 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 ding. Pam, I'm awake. Pam, everybody, Pam is now awake. Okay, probably. Can I pause this? Does anybody mind if I pause this? Where were we? Okay, so criminals, whatever. Now I'm fucking lost. I probably should start over, but I don't ever. Because someday will be a day, and that day will be just another day, like every other fucking day. Oh, what do we got going on? Oh, so the vaccine pass, the Vax Pass. The number one most people who think they're virtuous and want to pass some fucking law, both sides of the aisle, is laws almost never are good for behavioral change in society. I'm pretty sure that's almost a given fact. I could be wrong. I'm doing a lot of conjecture today. I'm usually more ingrained in the database and the facts and the science of things. Today I'm kind of going off of I'm winging it, which probably more credible than most college courses on subjects of criminology, penology, penicology. So, passing laws are not a good method for changing behavior. Eventually, over time, they have their effects, but at what price? You know, changing somebody's behavior based on fear of going to prison, fear of being punished, does not in any way change a person's belief in whether or not that action is of worth or not. Does that make sense? All right. So when you enforce laws that much of society deems to be inappropriate, well, now it becomes a dichotomy of us versus them, not follow the law, don't follow the law. All right. But Many people would like to believe that if it's a law, it must be virtuous. If it's an order, it must be virtuous. No, not at all. Okay, so what the Vax Pass does. Did I pay for this motherfucker? I did, obviously. Is this what they... I thought I ordered an HDMI, motherfucker. Ooh. Shh. Fuck off. I'm mad. Okay, so... back. Where were we? Okay. So... Okay. A Vax Pass. What laws usually do is it enables the police force, which a lot of these people run. Shit, sorry. I don't want anybody to run this program. Cancel, fuckers. All right. Weird. They're trying to attack my computer system. So, take, for example, an experience I've recently had. I loaned my Jeep to a friend whose car broke down. I forget that my Jeep didn't have tabs. All right. And I didn't make him aware of that. So he borrows my Jeep not knowing the tabs are bad, which, a little bit my fault, but I don't drive my Jeep all that much. So, when you ask to borrow somebody's vehicle, especially if you don't have a fucking license, especially if your fucking house is a nuisance fucking house, I think you have a responsibility to check the lights, check the headlights, check the brake lights, check the tabs. More so than the person you're borrowing it from, because the person you're borrowing from, if that's how they drive it, it's their fucking car. If you ask to borrow their fucking car, I don't think they're under any obligation to try to tell you all the fucking things wrong or right with their fucking car, because why would they care? It's their car. They know. Now, I tried. My Jeep happened to leak oil, leak steering fluid, and leak brake fluid. It also had kind of a windows problem, and a ignition problem, and about 4 or 5 other fucking things, because it's my Jeep. And I can drive like that. Or I would have told him, hey, by the way, the tabs aren't any good, but my dear friend wants to say that the fact that I didn't tell him that the tabs were bad, it's not his fault that my Jeep got impounded because his house is a nuisance house and his asshole neighbors report every car that shows up as a suspicious car, regardless of the time of day or regardless of anything. And so when my Jeep got towed 6 hours later after I borrowed it to him, and 3 days and 6 hours, 6 hours after he had parked it there, he'd had it for almost 3 days. He'd parked it there that night, midnight or something like that. The cops showed up at 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning, and they were towing it for not having tabs past 45 days. All right. I've got this motherfucking cop on. Okay, well, first of all, my friend, I'm trying not to say names, thinks it's not his fault because he didn't know it didn't have tabs. This is what happens when you try to be nice to people. And they have a fucked up life. And there's a reason they have a fucked up life, because that was my fault for not informing him about the tabs, even though I informed him about the oil and the brakes and blah and blah and blah and blah and blah, so he could keep it on the road and not fucking break my fucking car because it's my car and blah, 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 blah. Okay. But the point of this whole rant is the neighbors who are assholes, who've decided to take the law into their own hands. Because my friend and his family aren't actually doing anything criminal. There's a difference between being drug dealers and drug users. All right? My friend lives with his mother and his stepfather, who are necessarily capable of putting the rod or the carrot to the people in their home. And my friend has let it get out of hand in his basement. But the neighbors, who are come lately neighbors, my friends lived there for probably 70 years at that address. My buddy's mother's mom or father bought that home, I believe, in the 1950s. I guarantee 1960s. So that's a long time of a same family living on the same block here in Spokane. These California come lately motherfuckers with their cute little kids, who I've met, have a right to be a little concerned about the activity at the home. I get that. Nobody wants tweakers coming and going, or drug addicts, whatever, while your kids are playing in the backyard. It's concerning, especially if they're trying to say hello. Whoa, I understand that. I got a deep understanding of like, ugh. But what do we do when the society we live in runs people with addictions away from any place, everywhere? There's no place for an addict who has nothing to be without being oppressed. You might take the tough line. Well, then they need to quit doing drugs. Fuck you. Bang. Maybe you need to stop opening up your fucking mouth because I'm an addict and I don't have control of my fucking abilities. I just shot your ass. Now I'm in prison and you're dead. It happens all the time, you dumb motherfuckers. It happens all the time. And then when you're in front of the motherfucker that gets, right? Oh, fuck, why didn't he shoot me? Because you opened your fucking mouth. But I have a right to do that. Yeah, and addicts have a right to exist without being oppressed at every fucking angle. Drug addicts get sabotaged more than anybody. The homeless drug addicts get sabotaged all the time. They get used for political motivation. They get used for campaigns. They get used for funding. They get used. And then when it comes time to be accountable for them, the society turns their fucking back. I know this firsthand. All right. So as much as I have concern for these California come lately motherfuckers, their kids, beautiful, and their couple teachers, fuck you teachers, right? All this stuff. Hey, I understand. What do you do? What do you do? Because my friends' parents are old school. They see these lost souls out on the streets. These aren't necessarily criminals. These aren't people who have chosen necessarily a life of causing harm to others or profiting off. They're just lost souls who've lost their way and now are suffering mental illness and poverty and homelessness, and no one gives a fuck. And my friend's mother and father are old school, compassionate, feed you, come to my table, shelter in my house, old school fucking, and don't get me wrong, these fuckers have taken advantage of that, and her son pisses me off for letting them do that. But anyways, that's family matters. It's a difficult situation. But the problem with passing laws, back to the original, circling around, circling back, circling your ass, the reason passing laws don't change behavior, and the reason you shouldn't pass laws for behavioral reasons and stuff like that, or just willy-nilly, is because we're getting back to the vaccine pass. Ooh, I remembered. Personal. Washington State passed a law years back, who knows, or the city of Spokane, not sure which ordinance it is, saying if your car doesn't have tabs on it past 45 days, an officer can tow it right then and there. Okay, so there's something called the spirit of the law. if you're not a lawyer, if you haven't spent any time in criminal justice or law libraries or the criminal system or understanding our legal system, I have. I have. There's something called the spirit of the law, right? In the spirit of the law, in the intention. What was the intent? When you pass laws in the United States, they're not only the bills, what you know that little song, you're making a bill and blah blah blah, whatever, Capitol Hill. The reason the bills have to be Congress, House, Senate, is so the justification for that law is in the bill for people to go, does that sound like justification to inhibit our rights and freedoms? Right? What's the theory behind it? Is it ethical? Is it constitutional? Do we really need to do this? Well, that's gone out the fucking window. And I'm going to tell you right now, the left is mostly guilty at this moment, period in time. But the right is too. The right gets all fucking stupid the next day, right? This is the problem. I'm here battling for the world, saying, hey, you Democrats need to stop passing these stupid fucking laws all the time. And of course, the right over there like, yeah, get him, Cameron. And then they go, but I want a law saying it's illegal to burn the flag. Fuck you. That's the same problem, right? I'm not into flag burning. I'm into beating people's ass who burn the flag. But I'm beating their ass because I don't like it. Not because I think it's not their First Amendment right. If they buy an American flag with their own money and they want to burn it in public, they have that right. And I do not have the right to be beating their ass like I will be. I understand this. That's why I'm not a hypocrite. When I break the law, I understand that I'm taking things into my own hand and it's not an ethical or good way to go about business, but I'm at least doing it knowing I'm wrong. These right-wing people will say, oh, you're passing all these fucked up laws and shit like that. Oh, fuck that. And I'll be over there, yeah. And I'll explain it to the smart people in a way that these, conservatives, dummies can't quite handle it. And they'll be like, yeah, you go get him, Cameron. But 2 seconds later, after I get them all straightened out, I look over and my conservative buddies who were just backing me up are like, we need to outlaw flag burning. You're now engaging in the same activity you were just telling them they shouldn't be doing. It's a constitutional right. I know it makes you feel bad. I know it's shitty and fucking our military. I feel the same way. But you don't pass laws. You just take matters into your own hand and deal with it. I don't know. Who's right or wrong here? All right. My car got towed. So my Jeep gets towed because it was past 45 days, but it did not get towed for the spirit of the law. The spirit of the law was to clean up all the, if you're not going to pay your taxes on your tabs, you shouldn't be allowed to store your car on the streets and dirty up the neighborhood. I'm down with that. I get that, There's a fine line between the street in front of your house being yours and being the street in front of your house community. Like, I don't pay taxes to have a cement or asphalt layer put on the ground for your kids to play basketball. It's called the street. It's called the fucking road. I'm paying taxes on it because cars go on roads. That's the point of asphalt covering dirt roads. It's not there to provide your fucking kids with a fucking basketball court. That being said, I think you should have every right to put a basketball thing out in your street and, have fun on it when it's appropriate and traffic is less. I'm okay with that. But I pay taxes to have that road installed, so when I have to go from point A to point B and it's in front of your house, I don't have to kick up a bunch of dust. And you don't have to cough all the time because it's a dirt road and it fucks up my car and it fucks up your health. So we install roads. I pay taxes on those roads. I pay taxes on those roads for my car, your car, other cars to be on going at certain miles per hour so I can get from point A to point B in a reasonable. If I want to get there in a half an hour, I'd just walk if I could. Right? 20 miles an hour, I can jog that fast. All right? If you're gonna make every road in Spokane 20 miles an hour, get rid of the fucking cars. And stop taxing me for the roads your kids are playing on. It pisses me off. Okay. Another law. So, spirit of the laws. They impound my Jeep, not because it's an eyesore, not because it's been sitting there. It was there for 6 hours. They impound my Jeep because my buddy has a nuisance house, and they're circumventing the court system. They're circumventing the judges, the prosecutor, the defense, right? They've already judged. That cop, that family, that neighborhood has circumvented our law system and said, we're going to punish you because we don't like how you live. End of story. Shut the case. That's why my Jeep got towed, sitting there for 6 hours. That is not America. That's your fucking left-wing communist pass a law and then abuse it, motherfuckers. And this is why black people get oppressed. This is why illegal immigrants, right, get oppressed. This is why all these fucking stupid laws that mostly the left-wing people are trying to pass backfire and ruin civilizations. Because dumb people shouldn't be making laws. Dumb people shouldn't be voted in, but it happens all too often, so you get what you deserve, right? Well, I guess so. So, if you... Shut up, phone. I'm going on a rant. Okay, so anyways, I've got things to do today. I'm just going to throw this out there. Make love, not war. On the bed, not the floor. More coffee. The vaccine pass. Shut up. Will cause more unforeseen consequences than any good it might do in saving lives and stopping the spread of an almost harmless, barely not harmless virus. Resist COVID thinking. Don't defund the police. Reform the police. And check on your loved ones and check on them often. This is the Spokane Experience, signing out. Have a good day, everyone.